I have the dubious spot of standing in front of you and free drinks. About 3 weeks ago, I gave a talk to 150 people. I was the speaker before lunch. I thought that was dangerous. 50 internet professionals in front of free drinks. I am more worried for my life now than I was then. So, I will try and move this along as best I can. So, welcome titans of technology, gurus of internet thought. I must disclose, I may not beat one of you. I'm not a techie at all. I have an undergrad called Soviet and Eastern European Studies. If you can get a more useless graduate degree, I challenge you. I graduated in May of 1995. In June, the Soviet Union ceased to exist at today. But I digress. And the reason I digress is actually, you know, technology sometimes baffles me. But I believe I've mastered one machine. The fax machine. Now, it may seem rather strange to be standing in front of you and talking at an internet conference and to start off with a fax machine. But a fax machine actually illustrates a very interesting point around something called the network effect. And the network effect is a very simple principle that says the value of the network increases as nodes on the network are added. Think for 1 second about the first dude who bought a fax machine. Very brave or very stupid. Who was he faxing to? Right? But there was one guy or one woman who was there, who bought it. And then there was 2, and then there was 3. And as more and more fax machines are added to the network, the value of your purchase increases. And the network effect essentially says, you know, as nodes are added to the network, the value of the network increases. Okay, hold that thought. Let's put a twist in it. And let's say, what if you were able to take each node in that network and amplify it exponentially by making it smarter or making it faster? Now, fax machines can't do that, but people can. And when you put them in the right environment, you get this amplification effect of your people. And I would argue that that's what many of us are trying to achieve when we think about collaboration in our own environment. And in the right settings, there's actually some really interesting research around where this has been proven to show effect. And the best example I could come up with was the World of Warcraft. Nobody in this group will disclose that they've ever played the game, correct? No? No. 50-odd million of you have played the game, just to be clear. But it actually was a study done in 2009 by Deloitte. And in that study, they looked at the World of Warcraft. Now, again, since none of us play, let's talk about how you do things. And basically, you get something called experience points. And experience points allow you to move through the levels. But what's interesting is, it takes about 150 hours of gameplay to earn the first 2 million points. Okay? Players on average earn another 8 million experience points in the next 150 hours of play. So stop for a second. So it takes 150 hours to get to the first 2 million, okay? But then they can get to 8 million in the next 150 hours. How do they do that? How do they go from here to here in the same amount of time? And the answer is the network effect. Almost universally, every single player of the World of Warcraft leverages forums, blogs, wikis, posts, discussion groups, you name it. There's 10 million pieces of content out in the great wide internet on how to beat a level, how to get faster, how to get through some guy with a sword, I assume, right? That little piece of information, that little nugget of leveraging information to get better, and the amplification of your network, again, I would argue, is what a lot of us are looking to do in our own intranet, to make our people smarter, to allow them to make better decisions. But what's important here is this isn't really, there's one more point here. The more players participate and interact in the knowledge economy, i.e. the sharing of that information, of how to beat a level, how to go on, the more valuable resources become, and the faster players increase the rate of performance. So the more information there is in the network, the faster and smarter the people are getting. Okay? I.e. simply more content, faster, smarter people. But this isn't content in the way that a lot of us are thinking about collaboration today. This is very focused, purpose-driven content. This is, how do I get from level 6 to level 7? And when we think about collaboration in particular, a lot of us are in love with collaboration right now. And I might be the old grumpy guy here today, but the idea is that collaboration in and of itself is interesting, but not really that effective. Collaboration has to serve a goal and has to drive a purpose. And if you can figure out a way to drive a goal and a purpose in your organization, you're going to be a hero. So, think about how you can do focused collaboration and drive the network effect in your organization. All right. Everyone have their Grand and Toy pen? Their green one? Okay, we're going to write some stuff down, so find a piece of paper to start. But I want to start back to maybe anyone, where are the true IT guys here? Where are the true, can configure the server and do all that? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just going to start off and I'm sorry. But back in 2009, a guy named Nicholas Carr wrote a great article called IT Doesn't Matter, up in person. And in there, he actually said, what makes a resource truly strategic is not ubiquity, but scarcity. Okay? Technology, for the most part, has become ubiquitous. But the talent and wisdom required to use it strategically, to successfully capture, analyze, employ information with the greater profitability and the growth is all too scarce. We have more technology in our lives than ever before. Technology, i.e. SharePoint, is not a competitive differentiator for your company. I'm sorry to say, and apologies for the Microsoft reps. But it's not. You all have it. But what's going to separate you, and some of you are actually competitors, is how do you use it strategically to drive the outcomes you're looking to do? I started Nonlinear back in 1995. We built our first website for the National Gallery of Canada, actually. And yes, fellow Canucks. What's interesting about that, though, is, we all have the same set of tools. But what separates the winners and the losers are those who figured out how to make it work for them. So I want you to pull out your pens and paper, and I want you to write down the answers to the first 3 questions here. First one, who owns your intranet? Okay, take a second. Who owns your intranet? Question number 2. What are the 3 things you want an employee to be able to accomplish on their intranet? 3 things, simple. And last question, what business problem are you trying to solve?